All right, lesson 51. Okay, the next 10 lessons are a little bit different. They are actually a review of the first 50 lessons. So they are a review of 5 lessons at a time for the next 10 days. So with lesson 51, we would go back to the first 5 lessons. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read the title of the lessons and we'll just take a minute and see what comes up. I invite you to close your eyes as you hear me read the lessons. I'll take my time because they are really the fundamental initial lessons that are the foundation for all 360 plus lessons. So we start with, nothing I see means anything. Nothing I see means anything. It's a little bit more of a challenge to initially go inward when you're being introduced to A Course in Miracles, because we live in a world that we see justified by what we see. So what we see out in the world is then, in our perception, interpreted by us versus the other way around. So there isn't the belief that you first have a thought and then you project it out into the world as that in which you see. Initially, things are happening and you're interpreting it. At least that's how linear time perceives it. So nothing I see means anything introduces you to the idea that there is nothing that has an inherent meaning. Nothing at all. What you see is neutral. Nothing I see means anything. The next lesson, I have given what I see all the meaning it has for me. Now it introduces the fact that when you interpret what you see, it is a choice. You have given what you see all the meaning that it has for you. How do you decide what something means? You think about what it meant in the past. You draw on your beliefs. You draw on what you want to see. You draw on how you see yourself. If you are by nature an insecure person, or you feel unsafe in an environment, that in which you see typically will validate that sense of lack of safety. It won't contradict it. The mind looks to try to find a validation for what we already believe. So you're giving everything that you see all the meaning that it has for you. The next lesson, I do not understand anything I see. Now you have a choice to make. Since you're giving everything you see all the meaning it has for you, do you have to believe that your interpretation is true? Do you absolutely know that the way you are seeing something, the meaning that you're giving to it, is absolutely true? And if you have any doubt that your interpretation is absolutely true, then this lesson is inviting you to then look and see, okay, do I truly understand anything that I see? So if that's your foundation, I do not understand anything that I see, then it opens up the possibility that there may be an alternate meaning to what you see. And that is the beginning of being able to see with true vision. That just because you see something a certain way, because you've decided that you know what something means, doesn't make it true. The next lesson. These thoughts do not mean anything. Now we start to switch from that in which we see to an internal process of that in which we think. So the same thing that you did in the first lesson, what I see doesn't mean anything. You then now start to switch to the thoughts that I'm having don't mean anything. Because you have given the thoughts, the interpretation of those thoughts, you have selected, you have chosen. So they, in and of themselves, do not mean anything. They are neutral, or at least within the concept of that in which you are interpreting. And then lastly, I am never upset for the reason I think. So now it goes from seeing to thinking to feeling. the interpretation that you have in which you see and think lead to a feeling. And upset in this lesson is, it could be the spectrum from rage all the way through minor irritation. There are no degrees in feeling. So, I mean, I know in this world we think that there is. Oh, I'm really, really, really upset, and therefore I have to figure out why that is. Oh, I'm just slightly irritated, but I wonder, is it even worth me looking into? It's saying, don't worry about any of that. You are never upset for the reason you think. There's always something else going on. So therefore, it could mean something else. Asking the question, what else could this mean, is very powerful. What else could this mean? Whether it's how I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, or what I'm seeing, what else could this mean? If you are not in a state of peace, if you are not in a state of joy and love, if you are feeling any type of discomfort, then what the Course says is that you are misperceiving. You are misperceiving the moment. So you're just opening the door in these first 5 lessons to the way you have constructed that in which you see, think, and feel may have been incorrect, and therefore you may have been in error. And so opening up to a new way of seeing things. Those are the first 5 lessons, and tomorrow will be lesson 52, and it'll cover the lessons 5 through 10. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.